All right, here we go. So we are starting unit 6, topic 1, and it will be called simplifying radicals. We are doing this topic for 2 days. We're going to learn the basics today, and then tomorrow we're going to add in a brand new step. So I really need you to focus and get what I ask you to get done today so that tomorrow we can add our new step, okay? So first thing, you have to know what this is. What is this symbol? A square root, a radical. Okay, so this is a square root. In order to take something out of a square root, I have to have 2 of a kind. So I need 2 of a kind. That means 2 of the exact same things to move outside. So I have to have 2 of something, 2 numbers the same, 2 letters the same to move outside, okay? There are things called perfect squares. You should know some of these, but I'm going to teach you a way to do it without knowing them. Does anybody know a perfect square? 16, why is 16 a perfect square? Why? Because it's 4 times 4, it's the same number. So the square root of 16 is a perfect square because it's 4 times 4. 9's a perfect square. Why is 9 a perfect square? 3 times 3, what else is a perfect square? 4, 25, 64. Do we see where all these numbers are coming from? 36. Why is 36 a perfect square? Because it's 6 times 6. So I have square root of 36 is a perfect square because 6 2 times gives me 36. And what about 81? Is 81 a perfect square? What? 9. Very good. Okay. So I'm going to teach you how to do this without knowing your perfect squares. If you know your perfect squares, it makes it easier, okay? So there's 3 steps. Step number 1 is called prime factorization. Prime factorization means I'm breaking numbers down as small as they go. So you want to think of numbers like 2, 3, 5, really small numbers, okay? Step number 2, you're going to circle or highlight or box or use a color, doesn't matter. Circle any number that can't be broken down. And step number 3, you're going to find groups of 2 or 2 of a kind to move outside. And I'll show you what all this means. Okay. The only thing we are doing, and I'd make sure you write this down, is multiplying. Every step is multiply. We are not adding, we are not subtracting. Everything is multiplying today, okay? Okay, so let's do 3 examples. So my first example is going to say the square root of 27. Bless you. Step number 1 says prime factorization. That's breaking it down into factors. What are factors? Things you can multiply. So any 2 numbers in the world, what can I use to multiply to get 27? 9 and 3, 3 and 9, same thing. So I have 3 times 9. Can I break 3 down? Does anything multiplied give me 3? Nope, so I'm going to circle it, highlight it, box it, use a colored pencil. What can 9 break down into? 3 and 3. Can those 3s break down? So I circle them. So now I'm going to make a new radical. And inside goes everything that is circled. So I have 3 times 3 times 3. Step number 3 says find groups of 2. That means I need 2 numbers. So watch, this is the trickiest part, okay? I need groups of 2. I have 2 3s right here. When I bring it outside, it's just the number 3. Okay, so I circled 2 3s, and then you tell me 3 is the number you circled. So can I circle any more groups? No. So what is outside? Just a 3, and what's left inside? Square root of 3. Now get your calculator. I'm going to show you a really easy way to check this. It won't give you the answer, but you can check it. Okay. So in your calculator, type in square root 27, what we did very first, square root 27, and you should get a decimal. Okay. And now we're going to type in what we got as a simplified answer, 3 square roots of 3. Help your neighbor if they don't know where the square root button is. You have to hit control first. And when I hit enter, are they exactly the same? Then that's good, okay? I don't take decimal answers. That's why you can't just put this in a calculator. But I can check if they're the same, that's good. If they're not the same, then what should it tell you? You messed up, okay? All right, let's go try this one. -3 square root of 90. -3 square root of 90. I need factors that give me 90. What is something I can use? 9 and 10. What else could I use instead?
Maybe a 5.
5 and 18. What else could I use? 3 and 30. 2 and 45. So does it matter which one of those I use? No, it doesn't matter. We're going to all get the same numbers, but most of you knew 9 and 10, so we'll use 9 and 10. What does 9 break down into? 3 and 3. Circle or break down? Circle both my 3s. What about 10? What does 10 break down into? 2 times 5. Can 2 break down? Nope. Circle. Can 5 break down? Nope. Circle. So when I make my radical, eyes up, what's outside has to stay outside. Everything circled goes inside. So I have 3 times 3 times 2 times 5. What am I looking for? Groups of 2. What can I take out? So I'm going to circle a group of 2 and take that number outside. Can I circle anything else? Okay. What do I do to the numbers on the outside? Multiply. I said all day we're only multiplying. So what is 3 times -3? -9. And what's left inside? 2 times 5. What's 2 times 5? 10. Plug them both in your calculator and see if it's equal. Everybody plug them in right now to make sure we understand how to check our answers. Are they the same thing? -3 square root of 90 and -9 square roots of 10. Very good. Okay. All right, let's do one more. Let's see here. Nope, no negative. We'll just make it positive. Sorry. 1/2 square root 96 x to the 3rd. I promise it's not any harder. Okay. What's the first step? What do we need to do? Break down what? 96. So everybody on your own paper, break down 96. There's lots of numbers you can use. And if you don't know, then use a calculator. Start with small numbers. What's a small number you know you can divide 96 by? 2, 3. So start dividing and find me some numbers. You could have used 12 and 8. You could have used 4 and what else would that give you?
No.
24.
3 times 32.
Use those numbers. 3 and 32.
Yes.
That's fine. Use them. Break them down. When you get your long radical, make sure to check that we have the same numbers and then freeze. So we got to figure out what to do with that X. Okay? So make sure you have the same amount of numbers as I do. Don't just copy, really break your numbers down.
Wait, Miss Bailey, I think mine looks different. No, it's because there's a 3 at the front, there's a 3 on the back.
Oh, see what's wrong. Give me a radical. How many 2s do you have? How many 2s I have?
Oh, this
Make me a long radical.
the order numbers, does that matter?
What's 3 times 2?
No, I'm good now. Because I have my 3 at the front.
What's 3 times 2?
Oh, 6.
What's 2 times 3?
6.
Does the order of multiplication matter? No. All right, here we go. Are we ready?
Yeah.
Okay, so everybody paying attention? Really quick, freeze and listen. How could I check to make sure I got these numbers correct? If I plug all this in a calculator, what should it have equaled? 96. So if you think something's wrong, then plug this in and check, did I get 96? Okay. Now, what does x to the third mean? How many x's are there? So I'm going to write 3 x's. 1, 2, 3. Now, what am I looking for? Groups of 2. So I circle 2 2's and I take out the number 2. Do I have another group of 2?
Yeah.
Yes, circle it, take it out. Do I have another group of 2? Yes, I do. What else do I have 2 of? So I have 2 x's and I take out the letter x. Okay. What do we do to everything outside? Multiply. So what is 2 times 2? What is half of 4? 2 with what else is outside? X. Square root. What is inside? What's numbers left inside? 2 times 3, which is 6. What else is left inside? And 1x. Okay. Now, when I put this in a calculator to check, you can't put letters in, only numbers. So only put your numbers in. So type in your 1/2 square root of 96 and just check our numbers at the bottom. So 2 square root of 6. Are they the same thing? So you're good to go. Okay.
Why'd you circle 2?
Because I need groups of 2. You have to have groups of 2 to take something outside. Okay.
I thought you said you always just circle once.
We did circle. We circled a group of 2 and I took it outside. Do I have another group of 2? So you have to circle all the groups of 2. Okay. Okay. Any other questions? What happens? Last one. Ready? What happens if I had this number? It's a really quick one. Square root of 16. What can I break 16 down into if I need to? 4 times 4. And what does 4 break down into? 2 and 2, and this 4 does as well, right? So when I have my big radical, I have 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. And how many do I need to circle? 2 of a kind. So if I circle and that comes out, and I circle and that comes out. So what do I now have on the outside? 4. Do I have anything left inside? So should I even have a radical drawn? No. So you can have just whole numbers. That's called a perfect square. How did I know 16 is a perfect square? Because 4 times 4 is 16. Okay. In your new packet today, your packets are numbered. I need all of page 1. That's the front page. All of page 1 needs to be done completely before you come back to my class tomorrow. So start working on it today. Whatever is not finished is considered homework. Okay. My answer key is on the front desk. Make sure you're checking with your calculator or checking with my answer key. Y'all do not go to page 2. It is not the same thing, okay? So do not work ahead, please. Stay on page 1.